So in conventional cattle care and regenerative cattle care, you have this idea that the bull breeds the cows, right? And you have heifers and you have all these different herds. You have non-breedable age heifers, you have your regular age heifers that need to get bred, and you have the bull that you want to do the breeding and all the selection and manipulation and control. And we just got really uncomfortable with that, right? We got uncomfortable with inputs. We got uncomfortable with the idea that if mother culture, this industrial machine, if she were to collapse or become reduced in size, that our farm would fail. That's what I mean by relying on off-farm inputs. We became obsessed with that question. And then we looked at ourselves, like I'm saying here in the management, and we realized that our management was just as mother culture infused as mother culture is, right? We take the bull, we look at the cow, and we say, yeah, I want you guys two to breed together and produce this offspring so that I can then raise it up and breed it to this bull, and it's all controlled and it's mechanistic. And you look at the natural world and you see the exact opposite, right? Mother culture and Mother Earth is entirely the opposite of this process. And it was interesting, I tell this story in Wild Like Flowers, a book I wrote back in 2020, 2021, in this moment where it was a blizzard, middle of a horrible, horrible day on the farm, and we had separated the bull away from the herd of brood cows, and brood cows would just mean cows that were cycling, they were in heat, right? And we pulled the bull out, and he was going apeshit nuts, and our boots were stuck in the February mud, and it was just no business of being there, and he was running at us and tearing at us. And Morgan looked at me and she said, Daniel, and don't get me wrong, a lot of the story, just like the management of the wildland, a lot of the story depends upon Morgan's questioning. So like you're talking to me, but we could also just give the mic to Morgan over there. But Morgan looked at me and she said, Daniel, we call this natural farming, right? We call this regenerative agriculture, as if we're some better system than the conventional model. How is this any better? Right? We have bulls that are separated out of herds. We separate families. We castrate, bulls into steers, and their endocrine and hormone systems just collapse after the fact. Look at a 2-year-old steer and look at a 2-year-old bull and tell me they're the same species, right? It's an endocrine and hormone system that has totally been checked, and it's a totally different animal. And we push in these production systems of separation and force and reductionism. And then we look at cows and we look at caul fat, or steers really, production of meat. And we look at caul fat and beef marbling, when all the scientists around us tell us that a beef, when it marbles, is really just early stage ketoacidosis. It's early stage diabetes. It's cardiovascular disease that is forming. And we look at all of these things and say, but it's natural, right? It's a natural system. There's nothing natural about it. And all of that is just to say a long story towards, at Timshel, what our mission is to truly co-create with the wild as an active member. We say not a patriarch, but a progenitor of creation, right? A child of creation like nature is. And what our focus is in the question, in the modern world, is it possible to regenerate Mother Earth as Mother Earth wants to be regenerated without depending upon mother culture, this industrial machine? And so the way it looks a little bit different, people come and like we had the senior editor for the Reader's Digest came out, wanted to write a piece on us, and we gave her a little tour. And after the fact, she said, I just don't understand. It seems like you guys just don't do anything. And I said, yes, that's it, right?